Good morning, students. Today we'll be starting with Science 1, chapter number 3, Chemical Reactions and Equations. The first page is a revision of what you have already learned in the previous classes regarding physical change and chemical change. To revise, what is a physical change? When the physical state of the substances changes, but its chemical composition remains the same, it is said to be a physical change. During a physical change, no new substances are formed. Physical change is usually a temporary in nature. For example, melting of wax, melting of ice, etc. What is a chemical change? A chemical change is a change in which the composition of the matter changes and it is a permanent change. Usually a new substance is formed during a chemical change. There is a table given over here with some examples which will help us to understand what is a physical change and what is a chemical change better. For example, the first one, transformation of ice into water. It is a physical change. Cooking of food is a chemical change. Ripening of fruit, chemical change. Milk turning into curd, again a chemical change. Evaporation of water, physical change. Digestion of food in the stomach, chemical change. Size reduction of naphtha balls exposed to air, physical change. Straining of shabadi or kadappa tile by lemon juice, it's a chemical change. Breaking of glass object on falling from a height, it's a physical change. Before we start with chemical equations, let us understand what we mean by chemical reaction. A chemical reaction is a process in which some substances undergo bond breaking and are transformed into new substances by the formation of new bond. The substances taking part in chemical reaction are called as reactants, whereas the substances formed as a result of a chemical reaction by formation of new bonds are called as product. For example, formation of carbon dioxide gas by the combustion of coal in air is a chemical reaction. In this reaction, coal, that is carbon, and oxygen from air are the reactants, while carbon dioxide is the product. A chemical reaction is usually represented by writing a chemical equation. Then what is a chemical equation? A chemical reaction, when it is represented in words, it is called as word equation, while the representation of a chemical reaction in a condensed form using chemical formulae is called as the chemical equation. If you look at what is given in front of you, it's written aqueous solution of copper sulfate plus zinc dust forms aqueous solution of zinc sulfate plus copper. Now this is a word equation where we are simply writing the name of the reactants and the name of the products in words. Now if this particular word equation we are writing using the chemical formula, then it will be read as CuSO4 plus Zn forms ZnSO4 plus Cu. This is what is called as a chemical equation. In this case, copper sulfate, that is CuSO4, plus Zn, that is zinc, are called as the reactants, while ZnSO4, that is zinc sulfate, plus Cu, that is copper, are called as the products. Let us now see some rules followed while writing a chemical equation. The reactants are always written on the left hand side while the products are written on the right hand side of the chemical equation. An arrow heading towards the product is drawn in between the reactant and the product. It indicates the direction of the reaction. If there are two or more reactants or products, they are written with a plus sign in between them. The physical state of the reactant and products are often mentioned in the chemical equation to make it more informative. The gaseous, liquid and solid states are symbolized as small letter g, small letter l and small letter s respectively. The reactants or products present in aqueous solution, that is in the form of a solution in water, are indicated using AQ in the bracket. If the product is in a gaseous state, then it can be indicated using an arrow pointing upwards. And if the product is in an insoluble solid state, that is a precipitate, then it can be indicated using an arrow pointing downwards. When heat is given from outside to bring about a reaction, a sign, a small triangle sign, is written above the arrow that indicates the direction of the reaction. When heat is released during a reaction, the term heat is written along with the products. Certain conditions of temperature, pressure, catalyst, etc. are mentioned on the arrow pointing from reactants to products. Sometimes special informations or names of reactants products are written below their formulae. If the number of atoms of each element is not the same on the two sides, then the chemical equation needs to be balanced. Let us look at the example. Look at the equation number 3. Here it's written CuSO4 plus Zn. They are the reactants. Besides CuSO4, it is written AQ. That means it is an aqueous solution. That is, powdered copper sulfate is dissolved in water. Besides zinc, it is written S. That means it is a solid. The arrow is pointing from left hand side to the right hand side, which is showing the direction of the progress of the reaction. Again, we can see ZnSO4 is shown as an aqueous solution, whereas copper is shown as a solid. Now look at equation number 4. You can see there is a small triangle delta sign. This shows that during this reaction, heat is taken from outside. Beside carbon dioxide, there is an arrow pointing in the upward direction. This shows that carbon dioxide is a gas which is being liberated. If you look at the reaction number 5, you will see that heat is written on the right hand side. In this reaction, heat is given out. A chemical equation in which the number of atoms of the elements in the reactants is same as the number of atoms of those elements in the product is called as balanced chemical equation. If the number of atoms of each element is not the same on two sides of an equation, then it is called as an unbalanced equation. An unbalanced equation has to be balanced. Let us see the steps involved in balancing a chemical reaction. Here our equation is given to us. Sodium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid forms sodium sulfate and water. This equation is written in the form of a word equation. The first step is to write the chemical equation from the given word equation. We use the chemical formula for that. So we write NaOH plus H2SO4 forms Na2SO4 plus H2O. The second step is to check whether the equation is balanced or not. This is done by comparing the number of atoms of the various elements present in the two sides of the equation. So if you look at the equation, we have sodium, we have oxygen, we have hydrogen, and we have sulfur. So if we form a chart and write down what is given in the left hand side and what is given in the right hand side, and then we compare. How many sodium atoms are there on the left hand side? 1. How many sodium atoms are there on the right hand side? 2. Now look at oxygen. How many oxygen atoms are there on the left hand side? In NaOH there is 1 oxygen atom. In H2SO4 there are 4 oxygen atoms. That means a total of 5 oxygen atoms are there. In the right hand side, again there is 1 oxygen atom in water and there is 4 oxygen atom in Na2SO4. So that means on the right hand side also there are 5 atoms. Now look at hydrogen. How many hydrogen are there? 1 in NaOH and 2 in H2SO4. So total 3 on the left hand side. What about on the right hand side? On the right hand side we have 2 hydrogen atom. Now look at sulfur. So there are how many sulfur are there on the left hand side? 1 sulfur atom. whereas on the right hand side there are two sulfur atoms. So now if we compare, we see that sodium is not balanced, oxygen is balanced, hydrogen is not balanced, and again sulfur is balanced. So we need to balance sodium and hydrogen. Now the third step is, it is always convenient to start balancing an equation from the compound which contains the maximum number of atoms. Moreover, it is convenient to first consider that element in this compound which has an unequal number of atoms on both the sides. So if you look at NaOH, and if you are comparing Na2SO4, so how many Na are there in NaOH? One atom of sodium, whereas in the product there are two atoms of sodium. So to balance, we have to make NaOH two atoms of sodium. Now here what we have to remember is that the formula of a compound cannot be changed while balancing the number of atoms. That means we cannot change the formula of NaOH as Na2OH. Instead, we have to write 2 in front of NaOH. Let us see how it looks. So now we have written 2 in front of NaOH. When we write a number in front of a compound, we not only multiply one atom, but we multiply with all the atoms present in that formula. That means now not only sodium becomes 2, even oxygen becomes 2, and even hydrogen becomes 2. Therefore, the whole equation changes. Now if we look at the chart, now sodium, there are two sodium on the left hand side and there are two sodium on the right hand side. We have managed to balance sodium, but we have changed the oxygen numbers. Previously they were 4 plus 1, 5 oxygen in the LHS, but now it has become 4 plus 2 oxygen. Whereas on the right hand side it is remaining as 5. Similarly, hydrogen number has also changed in the LHS. Now we are having 4 hydrogen, whereas in the right hand side we are having 2. So now we have to balance hydrogen also. So what do? We multiply water or H2O by a 2. So we have to understand that when we are multiplying, it is just like in maths. When we write a 2 in front of a compound, all the elements are getting multiplied. So if I am writing a 2 in front of water, so hydrogen becomes 2 into 2, that is 4, and oxygen becomes 2 into 1, that is 2. Now if you look at the equation, the final equation stands as 2NaOH plus H2SO4 forms Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. I hope it's little clear to you. Thank you, students.